Today we're going to talk about body odor. Now, most people use deodorant or antiperspirants on a daily basis and without giving it much thought. It's simply part of their daily ritual. And yet in doing so, they may be doing real harm to their bodies. So let's take a closer look at just what body odor is about and how we could be responding more appropriately in response to it in a way that supports our body and supports our health. So sweat. Sweat comes from our glands in our skin that can be found really all over our body. However, there are higher numbers of sweat glands in certain focal areas, that being our forehead, the palms of our hands, the soles of our feet, and of course our armpits. And our sweat glands have two primary functions. Firstly, they serve as a thermoregulatory function, that being to cool our body. And secondly, they help to cleanse our body. And they work in tandem with our other organs of elimination. So our liver and our gastrointestinal tract, our kidneys, our lungs, in serving to constantly detox and cleanse our body. Now, when we contemplate body odor, it's a really good time to remind ourselves that really any symptom is an example of our body's exquisite language in conveying to us that there is work in progress in terms of healing and cleansing. And body odor is simply that. It is a symptom, a sign from the body that toxins are being released. And when we view body odor from this perspective, we quickly begin to realize that by using deodorant or antiperspirant, in effect, we are masking our body's language. We are putting a plaster over a symptom that our body is attempting to convey to us, and that we would be better served by supporting our body in enabling it to do what it is trying to do and not getting in the way of it by simply blocking that effort by using deodorant or antiperspirants. So another thing that I want to point out at this point, at this stage, is body odor is not in itself caused by sweat. Sweat is actually odorless. It evaporates quickly from the skin. It really leaves no unpleasant odor. And sweat it's 99% water. There are a few electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, maybe some calcium and magnesium, and some pheromones. And so when we have a mild form of body odor, what in effect the message is that is being conveyed is that the sweat has not been able to vaporize very quickly and effectively from the body. And this is usually as a result of synthetic clothing and tight clothing that results in poor ventilation from the skin. In contrast, when one struggles with a more strongly smelling body odor, this is evidence that the bacteria on the skin surface, which are always there and they're meant to be there, are needing to digest an increased amount of waste from the body, toxins being expelled, and it is this digestive process, this breaking down of the waste, that creates a foul smell that we interpret as body odor. And really, it is the body conveying the message that our cellular terrain is not where it should be, that there is a degree of congestion, there's a buildup of toxins, and that we need to ideally respond in turn by supporting our body to expel these toxins. However, because we find ourselves in a very quick fix world, as we alluded to a moment ago, most people resort to either deodorants, which contain a germicide that actually kills these bacteria that are trying to perform a function, in effect, on our behalf. And these deodorants also have an artificial fragrance to in turn mask the germicide. Antiperspirants work somewhat differently. They actually work by blocking the glands from even producing sweat. Now, both of these families of products have inherent problems. So let's look at this. First of all, they are not treating the cause. As mentioned, the cellular terrain is toxic when we experience body odor, and our body is trying to release these toxins. So by simply using deodorant and antiperspirants, either to prevent body odor or to block that which is already existing, is simply applying a quick fix plaster. It might help in the short term, but in effect, it is masking the real problem at hand here. And that is what, in natural medicine, that's where our focus needs to be. Always, always, always the cause. Secondly, we are blocking, we are interfering with our body's innate healing mechanism. And I like to liken it to blocking the exhaust. Now, we wouldn't want to drive our car with a blocked exhaust. We know it wouldn't go very far down the road. And yet, this is what we're doing when we continually block our sweat glands by applying these products. And really, inhibiting our body's extraordinary wisdom while exacerbating the buildup of toxins in our body. And thirdly, these products have added toxic ingredients to really exacerbate the whole process of denying the body's healing attempt. And some of the most common toxic ingredients added are parabens and aluminium. Now, we've talked about aluminium in our previous call when we said that this is linked to neurotoxicity and impaired brain function. So we really don't want to be applying deodorants and antiperspirants that contain aluminium that can be absorbed into our circulation and our lymphatics and travel around the body. This is really something to be avoided. And parabens too have been linked to, they have an estrogenic effect. They've been linked to breast cancers and upsetting the delicate hormonal levels in the body, which can lead to other cancers as well, and really many conditions that go hand in hand with a hormonal imbalance. So, you know, while applying these products perhaps on a one surface is really not going to have an impact, it has a cumulative effect. And when we consider that many people are applying this day in and day out, that slow, steady buildup of these toxic ingredients is really not supporting health. Okay, so if not to use deodorants and antiperspirants, how should we respond to body odor in a way that works in harmony with our extraordinary inner doctor? Firstly, rather than using these products, opt for a natural soap and water to cleanse our sweat glands, our underarms, and choose a soap that is vegetable based, that has natural fragrances such as essential oils, no synthetic fragrances, and perhaps in the early days, if you are addressing body odor, then you might have to do this several times a day. But hand in hand with this, letting go of this reliance and sometimes almost an addiction to the use of deodorant and antiperspirants, which as shared is actually just going to make this whole toxic cellular terrain progressively worse. Thirdly, in the short term, we can opt for natural alternatives to deodorant or antiperspirants, that being bicarbonate of soda. Choose a good medicinal version that is organic, that is aluminium free. This is important because certain baking sodas or bicarbonate, they're the same thing, just a different name usage, but they can contain aluminium. So choose wisely, and you can add a bit of the bicarb powder to some water, make a paste, and simply apply that to your underarm, and you will be amazed at how effective that is in eliminating body odor. And the reason for this is bicarbonate of soda is so alkaline that it nullifies the acidity in which the bacteria that generate the body odor and in which they thrive. So very, very effective, very inexpensive as well. In addition, there are various natural deodorant stones that you can also use that do not use aluminium. So that's another option, both of which I would recommend using in the short term as you progressively cleanse your cellular terrain. And at a point in the future, you will find that you don't even need these natural products because your cellular terrain will be so cleansed that you don't really need anything to prevent and support you in preventing body odor. Fourthly, use loose-fitting natural fibers, loose clothing, and natural cottons and hemp, etc., instead of synthetic clothes. That will make all the difference in allowing good natural ventilation and prevent the buildup of body odors. Fifthly, your diet is absolutely crucial in the holistic approach to body odor. So we've talked about consuming lots of pure natural water on a daily basis. Well, again, this is key because it is flushing our cellular terrain, it's flushing our lymphatics and supporting the cleansing of toxins from the body. Lots of pure water, number one when it comes to diet. In addition, lots of organic fruit and vegetables. These natural produce also contain a lot of water and lots of phytonutrients that support the healing in our body. We want to reduce the amount of meat and dairy consumed, both of which congest our lymphatics and make it add to the workload of our eliminatory organs. And so we want to reduce the intake of meat and dairy to support the constant detoxing of our body. And then finally, we want to also employ a regular cleansing protocols of our body in the form of detoxes, in the form of fasts. These will support our body in facilitating and expediting the release of toxins, which will have a dramatic effect in reducing body odor over the long term. And stay tuned for these detoxes and fasts. We will be going into detail in sharing some of these very effective yet simple detox protocols that you can include in your overall health regime. And so stay tuned, and much love.